Acrimony. Yes, I know it's an old movie. I know it's like 2018 and we've all kind of gotten over it. When the movie initially drops, oh my gosh, there was so much conversation about the movie and the relationship issues and all of that. And when someone recommended it as the movie for Movie Mondays in my last Movie Monday video, I decided, you know what? It's never too late to learn, and it's never too late to talk about a movie. So today we're going to be talking about 10 relationship lessons that we can learn from the movie Acrimony by Tyler Perry. Let me introduce you. Hi, oh hey, if it's your first time here, my name is Adenike or Olori Esho. On this channel, I create content that relates to love, marriage and lifestyle. So if you're interested in any of those things, then please subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, check out my other videos, leave a comment down below letting me know that you are now a subscriber, all right? Thank you. So Acrimony, oh my gosh, I feel like I don't even need to tell you guys what it's about because almost everybody has seen that movie. But just in case you haven't seen it, this couple met back in college. Their love was hot. It was ogbono. Their love was that kind of hot love where it's always something, you know, it's passion and fire in the hair, that kind of hot love. That's the kind of love they had. Robert and Melinda, those were their names. At some point, she made a decision in anger while she was pregnant and, you know, lost the baby, and then she couldn't have kids anymore, but he still married her and they got married, and he was so focused on pursuing his own purpose and passion and, you know, dreams at her expense, or so it seemed, you know, and all of that. But she was still there, you know, but she persevered. A lot of people were against the marriage and the relationship and blah, 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 blah. And eventually she got to that point where she just couldn't take it anymore and she decided to divorce him. And then guess what? It was after that things now took a turn for him, and then I went and married this other person, and she just went cuckoo, and it just did not end well. And so I've picked 10 lessons for us to learn from Robert and Melinda's situation. Number 1, in a relationship, you don't want to ignore the warning signs. Okay, you don't want to ignore the issues that are staring you right in the face. A pastor once told a story of a couple that were constantly fighting and constantly arguing. Married couple were constantly fighting. It was a very, very unhealthy marriage, and the woman went to talk to the pastor, and the pastor, and she was complaining, oh, he does this, he smokes, he drinks. And the pastor was like, okay, when you were dating him, did you ever catch him smoke at least once? And she was like, oh yes, she did, but that he said that he so only does it occasionally when he's under stress. And then the pastor was like, what do you mean when he's under stress? He has already told you, life on its own is stressful. It is full of stress. So he has told you that forever and ever, as long as life remains stressful, he will continue to smoke. And I thought that was just hilarious, but it's just the truth. You don't want to ignore the warning signs in a relationship. Melinda obviously had anger issues. You know, like, it doesn't take a blind person or a blind man to know that, oh, she had anger issues. Do you get? And so it was a matter of, what is Robert going to do about it? How is he going to try to help her? How is he going to handle it? Are you going to keep tolerating it, or are you going to try to do something about it? Are you going to try to help the person, or you just keep going along with it? But if you keep going along with it and you keep turning the blind eye to those warning signs, you're going to suffer the consequences at the end of the day. So whatever you do, don't ignore the warning signs. Either you do something about it or you leave. But if you choose to stay and do nothing about it, know that you're the one that is digging that hole for yourself. Number 2, you have to learn how to compromise, especially when you are married. You have to know how to strike a balance between your marriage and your dreams. I'm not saying that you should give up your dreams or your passion or your purpose just for the sake of marriage. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, with marriage comes compromise. With marriage comes, giving up on one so you can get two, giving up on three so you can get four. I've done it for my marriage. My husband has done it for our marriage. Do you understand? We talk about it. We have conversations about these things. And we are like, okay, you know what? For the sake of our marriage, how about we take a pause on this one, so that we can achieve this one, and then we can now go back to this one later. Do you understand? Robert was all in about what he wanted, about what he knew he could do, about what he knew he could achieve. He didn't give room to accommodate how that was affecting Melinda. If even Melinda had dreams, do you get? Or how that was making Melinda feel at different points. So it did not give room, for that in their marriage. And that is a horrible way to go, because you're not married to yourself. If you love someone, you have to always consider that person. So I'm not saying give up on your dreams, but you always have to figure out a way to strike a balance between your passion and your marriage, so that one doesn't suffer at the expense of the other. Number 3, I always say it's not half and half that makes a relationship or a marriage work. It is one whole person. You do not want to lose yourself in a relationship. You don't want to lose yourself in a marriage, because guess what? Before this person came, you were you. You were that one person. You had something doing, hopefully, but you were you had your own thing. You were a being on your own. You weren't waiting for this person to come and complete you. So don't lose yourself completely in a relationship. Don't make this relationship or this marriage your beginning and the end. It is not the gateway to the success of your life. That is it's great and all of that, but it should not be everything for you. Don't lose yourself in a relationship or a marriage. Number 4, it is very important, especially when you know the person you're with. Okay, it is very important to learn how to communicate and learn how to talk and learn how to prevent situations before they even become situations, or before they become issues that you will now be fighting over in your home or in your house. Do you understand? So don't wait to get caught in a compromising situation before you now start trying to explain yourself. That was what happened with Robert. Him getting caught with going on a date with someone he had cheated on her with and all of that. It was just like no, don't lie. Don't put yourself in a situation where you now start putting pressure on your marriage unnecessarily. Most men seem to think, oh, women don't want to hear the truth, but that's a lie. In actual fact, women want to know the truth. They want to be told if you're in or out. They want to be told if you're A or B. They want to be told what is going on with you, because that way we appreciate that, oh, you have us in mind, and that you're thinking of us, and that you think of how this situation might make me feel, or how I might feel if I were to walk in on you in a certain situation. Do you get what I'm saying? So just find a way to ensure that you make communication as easy as possible in your relationship or in your marriage, so that you are able to talk about these things, about whatever it is that you need to talk about, so that it doesn't become problems in your relationship later on. Number 5 lesson is patience. You need to learn how to think things through. I am a big fan of that. I'm not perfect, but I love to think things through. I love to just be told a situation, sit, take my time, think it to the front, think it to the back, think it to the right, think it to the left, and then come back to the middle and say, okay, this is what I think. Okay, this is how I'm going to react. Okay, this is how I'm going to proceed. Because that way you've had time to think about it. You've had time to process it. You're not acting based on your anger. You're not acting based on a temporary situation, which is what the other option would be. Melinda was, very hot-headed, and, she had anger issues and mental issues and all of that. And so there are so many contributing factors to our case anyway. But that's a lesson to learn, that learn to calm down. The Bible says be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Yeah. Number 6, so many people were speaking into that marriage, into that relationship negatively. Melinda sisters, you need to be careful who you listen to. When it comes to your marriage and your relationship, you need to be careful who is giving you advice, who you are talking to. It's not everybody that wishes you well. So be very, very careful who you take your matter to. Be very, very careful who you allow to speak into your life. Do you understand? Because in as much as those people might even just say their own and go, and they might not mean anything by it, the thing is, you've heard. You can't unhear it, whatever it is. They've sown a seed in your heart. They've gone. They probably might have forgotten that they even made such a suggestion, whatever it is. Do you get what I'm saying? So, but you, in your own heart, a seed has been sown, a seed has been planted. And guess what? It's going to grow. It's going to germinate. And you're going to find yourself in a situation where you shouldn't have found yourself in the first place if you are chosen to speak to the right people. So be very careful who speaks into your marriage. Be very careful who has the authority to speak into your relationship. And that's coming from the whole issue with Melinda's sisters. You know, they never approved of the marriage. They never approved of the relationship. It was always this or that and all of that, which can be understood. But even at a time when the guy was now not necessarily doing anything bad, you know, so to say, they were still planting seeds in her heart that led her to seek a divorce and go with someone else and all of that. Number 7, this is going to take me back to a point I mentioned earlier, which is the fact that you don't want to be driven by anger. You don't want to make angry decisions. There's a saying that you shouldn't make permanent decisions based on temporary situations. Yes, that's how the saying goes. So you're angry, but you're not going to be angry forever. You're not going to be angry for 5 hours, okay? Your anger will subside. Your anger will be like a graph. It will depreciate with time. So allow yourself to get angry, finish getting angry, and then process the situation, and then decide what you want to do with the situation. Don't make permanent decisions whilst you're angry, as it affects your marriage or your relationship. And permanent decisions can be as little as going on Twitter and tweeting about how horrible your husband is or your girlfriend is just because they did something wrong. It could be a situation like going on Instagram and, you know, trashing your marriage and acting as if you never get back together when there is probably a possibility that you would get back together. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you don't want to put yourself in situations where you now take steps or say things that you can't take back. So don't make angry decisions. Number 8 lesson is that you should learn your spouse's love language or your partner's love language. Yes, there is something called love language. And I'm not even telling you that you should go and read the book, okay? You don't have to read the book if you don't want to. But people like to be loved in certain ways. Do you get? There are some people that just keep giving them gifts and they're good. There are some people that they want to sit right next to you and just be staring at you, even if they have nothing to say. That is how they feel loved. There are some people that require you to have conversations with them. Always talk to me. How come you have not called me in the past 5 hours? How come you have... There are some people that I'm not talking about, you know, the extras or the crazies or whatever. I'm talking about just regular people who love to be loved in different ways. So you need to understand how the person you're with wants to be loved. You need to pay attention to that person in order to be able to love that person, you know, the way they want to be loved. Melinda wasn't loved properly by Robert. It was more, at some point, it was even starting to look like a one-sided kind of love. Even though, I mean, we knew he loved her and she loved it, obviously. She loved him. But, you know, he didn't love her the way she wanted and desired to be loved. Number 10, last but definitely not the least, trust. Trust is the foundation upon which every relationship is built. Once that trust or that wall of trust cracks, yeah, you know, there's a saying in Yoruba, permit me to say it in Yoruba. It says that Ti ogiri obalanu alangba ole wonu. That is, if a wall isn't cracked, a lizard cannot get inside. Do you understand? So trust is very, very essential, because once it cracks, even if it's just a little, you know, it starts to affect the relationship. And until it's plastered or replastered, right, that relationship won't be fixed, because the wall will just keep cracking, you know, until it breaks. The guy cheated on her once, even though she forgave him and all of that, but the wall had cracked. Do you get? Even if he had sneezed and a girl had said bless you, she probably would have thought he cheated on her again, which was what she assumed. So trust is very, very essential in a relationship, and most especially in your marriage. You don't want to do things that would make the person you're with question your loyalty to them, or your love for them, or your trust, you know, for them. So yeah, that would be my lesson number 10 from the movie Acrimony. So what did you learn? Did I mention everything that you learned, or are there things that you learned from the movie Acrimony after seeing it that I did not mention? Make sure to mention them down below. Or if there are any of the points that I made that really resonated with you, or that you have agreed with all along, let me know down below in the comment section. I always want to hear from you. You know I love your comments and your feedback. So if there are other movies you'd like to recommend, I also want you to recommend them down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have you subscribed to the channel? If you aren't, please do so right now. Check out my other videos. They're value adding and entertaining, and I'm sure you have a great time binge watching my videos. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. I'll see you again very, very soon. You know how we do it. I pray God blesses you, your home, your marriages, and your relationship. But most importantly, I pray God blesses you. Remain in God, and God bless you. Mwah. Bye.